So this is the next phase of creating your box file. We need to finish our 2D sketch. And in the last one, or the last video that I showed you, we created just the outline of the box, the top of the box to be specific. So in this particular video, I'm going to show you how to put the tabs on your box. And the first thing we need to do is we need to find the file that we're working on. So we've got the software open, and there's a number of different ways you can look for your file. One is you can look for it down here under Recent Documents. Another way that you can look at it is underneath the Open up here on the ribbon, or you can go through the eye. I'm going to go through the eye, so I'm going to open my file. And for you all, you'll need to find your school login folder under Computer, and then it should be saved there, maybe under My Documents or My Favorites, and you will open up the file. Now, what I've done here is I've actually opened up my quote-unquote partners file, my partners, Miss Makins. She has the smaller box. One of you will have the larger box, one of you will have the smaller box. And so I wanted to show you her box with her measurements, just for something a little bit different, and also because the math is a little bit trickier with the smaller box. So mine was 6 by 6. Hers is 5.75 by 5.75. So I need to edit this sketch. In order to edit the sketch, I'm going to go over here to my list of steps, and I'm going to double click on Sketch, and that gets it back in the mode where I've got my quadrants and I've got my measurements, and I can keep adding more stuff to it. We're going to add the tabs. Tabs are rectangles. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over here and click 2-point rectangle. You want to start in the upper right hand corner, so you're going to click, pull, make a rectangle, measurements don't matter, click, and then you have a rectangle. It's not the right size. So I'm going to dimension it. The cardboard, again, is 1/8 of an inch thick, so our tabs need to be the same size. There's a couple of different ways to type that in. You could just type it in as 1/8. That works fine. But you'll notice that it converts immediately over to decimals. So 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. So you can also enter it as a decimal. And then I'm going to pull this out. And just to keep things simple, I'm going to make the length of all my tabs 0.25. Now, the next step is to figure out how many tabs you're going to need and then pattern them. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get the tabs to go all the way down the side, but they need to end a little bit before you hit the next corner. So I'm going to pattern it, and in order to pattern it, first you have to select the rectangle that you want to pattern. And for me, the easiest way to do that is to get out of the sketch real quick. Go ahead and save. This isn't a bad thing to do periodically, so that way you don't lose your work. And so I saved, and then get back in the sketch. So you're out of dimension mode, and you are ready to do a rectangular pattern. So you're going to select the rectangle by clicking, and then you notice that I'm pulling out this red box that surrounds the rectangle. And then when you let go, you select it, and we're going to rectangular pattern. So I'm going to click on that, and then that pulls up a couple of choices. The first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what direction you want your pattern to head in. So I'm going to go down this line, so that's what I'm going to choose, and it turns white. So now I have a choice. The next thing you need to do is you need to figure out how many tabs am I going to need and how far am I going to space them. In general, we're going to put them a 1/2 inch apart, and so you're going to need double the amount of distance that you have. So for example, if it's 6 inches long, you're going to need 12 tabs spaced 1/2 inch apart. However, it's a little bit trickier with the smaller boxes because the measurements are not whole numbers. For example, this one's 5.75. So I have just kind of fiddled around with it, and you're going to have to do the same thing to get the tabs just right. So what I figured out first of all is instead of having 12 tabs like the 6-inch box does, I'm going to choose one less. So I'm going to choose 11 tabs. And there they are. And then I'm going to make sure that I have them spaced the correct distance apart. For the 6-inch box, again, spacing them a 1/2 inch apart works out really well. You get 12 tabs at a 1/2 inch. With this one, I discovered you have to tinker around with the math a little bit to get everything to line up. So I ended up choosing 0.52 as my good distance. And so what you'll see is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tabs. I have a little space left down here, which is exactly the way I want it. And they're spaced approximately, a little bit more, but approximately 0.52 inches apart. I'm going to hit OK. See? Now I have tabs. Yay! I need to continue doing that. So same thing, second verse. I'm going to choose first, making a rectangle. And I'm going to start down here. This one's also going to start in the corner, the lower right corner. I'm going to pull it out, click, dimension. We're going to keep the same dimensions. This is going to be 0.125 or 1/8. This is going to be 0.25 or 1/4. And same thing, I need a rectangular pattern. I know that all of my sides are the same distance. So again, this will get a little bit trickier when you've got your rectangle versus your square, but you just have to do the math. So I'm going to get back into my sketch. I'm going to select my rectangle right here, and then I'm going to go back up to rectangular pattern. I'm going to choose the direction. I'm headed this way, and then I'm going to choose my number of tabs. I'm going to have 11, and again 0.52. Hit OK. Looks great. I need to keep going. Again, rectangle to point, lower left hand corner, pull out. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Now you'll notice that I am not creating or mirroring the exact same pattern across the way. Let me show you what I mean. So you'll notice that I started this tab down here at this corner, but if you go over here, there's not a tab here. It has to be that way or everything won't line up. So now I'm ready to dimension. Pull this out. You can do it on either side. 0.125. Pull this out. 0.25. Okay. I need a pattern. I'm just going to save this. Never a bad idea. Get back in the sketch. Select. Now you notice this time I'm getting the green, and I don't want the green. So that's why I've been kind of maneuvering around to get the red. So maneuver around till you get the red versus the green, and then I'm ready to pattern, if that happens to you. And again, I'm going to choose my direction. I'm going up this time. 11, 0.52, hit OK. And then I just have to do it one more time. Again, rectangle, and I need to offset it, make sure that it's the opposite from what's across from it. Let go, dimension, 0.25, .125, finish sketch, save, get back in, and then select. I want the red rectangle, pattern, direction, spacing. Done. Finish sketch, save. That is the top and bottom of your box. Now you're going to have to do the exact same thing for your other file, which I believe for most of you is the side of your box. In the next video, I'll show you guys how to extrude, and then we're going to start trying to figure out how to get it in the right file format so that we can get it printed on the laser cutter. Good job.